my deepest condolences. I'm going to have to take this. Maybe contaminated.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 horror movies set in space. For this list, we'll be looking at the best horror movies that take place in the vast reaches of space. We will be including animated films on the list. Which of these movies did you find the scariest? Let us know in the comments below. Number 10. Event Horizon. The concept of Event Horizon is so good that it trumps the movie's somewhat shoddy execution.
But it's not me. It's liberate tutte me. Save yourself.
This movie perfectly captures the unknowable aspects of space and correctly gauges what makes it so terrifying. The spaceship Event Horizon mysteriously reappears around Neptune, having previously been taken and possessed by some type of Lovecraftian space entity. We truly don't know what's out there, and Event Horizon takes full advantage of our boundless imaginations.
What happened to your eyes?
Maybe there's nothing, but maybe there's something malicious and unimaginable just waiting to prey on us puny humans. The movie also has a great sense of atmosphere and some memorable visuals. All of this has turned Event Horizon into a cult classic, which betrays its initial commercial and critical failure. Number 9. Galaxy of Terror. Coming just 2 years after Alien, it's obvious where Galaxy of Terror got its inspiration.
Illuma, are you sensing anything?
Absolutely nothing.
If there's anything to be found, Cameron, I'll find it myself.
But no matter how much it may mirror what came before, Galaxy of Terror finds its own sense of fun. The movie was produced by Roger Corman, a prominent independent filmmaker who became known for cheap and schlocky B-movies.
If it weren't so gruesome, it'd be fascinating.
Yes, the human mind is still as dark as Morganthus, isn't it, sir?
James Cameron also worked on the film as its production designer and second unit director, and his creative innovations helped give Galaxy of Terror an air of sophistication. Thanks to Cameron, it looks far more expensive than its $1.8 million budget would suggest. The movie also directly influenced Cameron while making Aliens. It's silly schlock, yes, but smart and influential silly schlock.
Death will surround you.
It is the only way.
A terrible way.
Number 8. It, the Terror from Beyond Space. Don't you just love the titles of old horror movies?
Dangerous, treacherous, alive with something we came to know only as death.
And even though it bears resemblance, no, this has nothing in common with Stephen King's It. Believe it or not, this movie also has a direct link to Alien, in that screenwriter Dan O'Bannon basically, borrowed from it. In this movie, a spaceship travels to Mars and receives a rather unfriendly stowaway.
If he's in there, we can get him through this hatch. I'll go, I know the layout in there.
Said stowaway then begins slaughtering the ship's inhabitants. It even dies when the survivors put on spacesuits and open an airlock, exposing the monster to the vacuum of space. Does this all sound familiar? This little movie from 1958 is a smart and well-made piece of sci-fi horror, and its influence on the genre is simply undeniable.
At least down below, I could have died on a mattress.
You'll be all right.
Number 7. Dead Space Downfall. This animated film served as a companion piece to the successful video game Dead Space.
Captain, we need to call for help. We don't have the forces to protect the ship. I don't need to remind you that this is a restricted system, and we're not supposed to be here.
Released that same year, EA's game was widely praised, and is now considered one of the best survival horror games ever made. EA gave director Chuck Patton complete creative control, and he crafted a great little movie that can proudly stand on its own.
I just lost telemetry on 10 crew members.
5 more just flatlined!
Like the game on which it's based, Downfall has a terrific sense of atmosphere, especially when it comes to the unimaginable horrors of space. It also carries over the game's incredibly graphic violence, and it's in this violence that the movie finds most of its scares. It's certainly not a pleasant film to watch, but a great one for those interested in space-based horror.
You know what I think? I think the thing is cursed. I mean, look what's happened since they found it.
Number 6. Life. The life in this movie's title refers to a malevolent life form found on Mars.
We're looking at the first incontrovertible proof of life beyond Earth.
Astronauts aboard the International Space Station begin experimenting on said life form, which quickly grows from a dormant cell within a soil sample to a fully grown monster. Yes, it's basically yet another ripoff of Alien, but life manages to work thanks to some strong filmmaking.
Rory, stop! Stop!
The script from Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick is quite smart, and director Daniel Espinosa minds enough suspense to make viewers forget that this is a familiar premise. Add a great cast consisting of Jake Gyllenhaal, Rebecca Ferguson, and Ryan Reynolds, and life certainly takes on a life of its own, despite its obvious influence.
Now we do not learn how to restrain or eliminate it, and if this creature ever reaches Earth, use every available resource to destroy it, or you will risk all human life.
Number 5. Prometheus. We didn't really need a prequel to Alien, but we're glad we got one.
Big things have small beginnings.
Penned by John Spates and Damon Lindelof, and once again directed by Ridley Scott, Prometheus beautifully mixes alien horror with some meaningful philosophy. The movie is filled with rich themes centered around humanity, and it's wide open to personal interpretation. Yet it also works as a straightforward horror movie.
What do you hope to achieve by coming here?
What we hope to achieve was to meet our makers, to get answers. Why they even made us in the first place.
It's a technical marvel, filled with first-rate production and art design, cinematography, and visual effects. It also contains a fantastic performance from Michael Fassbender, whose David instantly became one of the most interesting characters in the Alien franchise. And yes, it's very scary to boot. One has to commend the movie's scope and ambition.
Sometimes to create, one must first destroy.
Number 4. Planet of the Vampires. This Mario Bava film was yet another major influence on, you guessed it, Alien.
All right, quiet down, stay calm. Let's all try to stay calm and figure out what happened.
Planet of the Vampires is a fantastic mixture of alien and zombie horror. When spaceships crash land on an unexplored planet, the bodies of the deceased are possessed by the planet's disembodied inhabitants. Said alien zombies then go on a killing spree, and Bava shows why he was called the Master of the Macabre.
If you have anything left in you of what you were, let me go on.
Fortunately, there's nothing of what I was left. Only the body's the same.
The movie has long been noted for its fantastic photography. It still looks like no other piece of sci-fi horror, even though it influenced one of the genre's shining achievements. Years later, screenwriter Dan O'Bannon would admit that he, quote, stole some aspects from Planet of the Vampires while writing Alien, including some of its more striking visuals.
Carter!
Number 3. Sunshine. This thriller from Danny Boyle is a unique hodgepodge of different space subgenres.
There will be nothing to show that we were ever here but stardust.
The first 2/3 are a more introspective Armageddon, as astronauts attempt to save Earth from a dying sun by jump-starting it with a stellar bomb. Just go with it. The last third is, wouldn't you know it, Alien. Yet another home run from Danny Boyle, Sunshine mixes philosophy with some great genre thrills.
He told me to take us all to heaven.
It looks fantastic and is filled with a great cast, led by the always entertaining Cillian Murphy. and when the movie turns into a slasher in its latter third, it does so effectively and with a healthy dose of chills. It's a thrilling bit of ambitious storytelling, and it has the budget and talent to pull it off.
All you have to do is look out for a little extra brightness in the sky. So if you wake up one morning and it's a particularly beautiful day, you'll know we made it.
Number 2. Pitch Black. There's one thing that Pitch Black is remembered for, and that's introducing Riddick to the cinematic landscape.
Where's Johns?
Which half?
More of a horror movie than its numerous successors, Pitch Black sees a group of astronauts getting picked off by deadly alien creatures during a solar eclipse. The concept is a ton of fun, as the eclipse twist sprinkles some fun originality onto its time-tested story.
Just a suggestion! Perhaps you should flee!
Come on, run!
The movie also contains a ton of nightmarish visuals and some great world building. And yes, Vin Diesel shines as anti-hero Riddick. This little horror movie that could launch an expanded franchise, but it also works as a solid standalone horror movie.
You said clear.
I said it looks clear.
Well, what's it look like now?
Looks clear.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Alien. And finally, we come to the movie at the very center of the sci-fi horror genre. It took what came before and perfected the formula, and it greatly influenced many movies that came later. Even to this day, large numbers of space-based horror movies are taking cues, plot points, themes, and visuals from Ridley Scott's masterpiece. It's as great a horror movie as Aliens is an action movie, and that's saying something.
You don't have to be sorry. It wasn't your fault.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
If anything, Alien proves that movies are far more than their stories. Alien is quite simplistic in story, but exceptional in execution. Everything about this film is top-notch, including its famous monster and grungy production design. Alien may forever stand tall as the shining example of the sci-fi horror genre.
My God.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.